Today's podcast is brought to you by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook download at audiblepodcast.com/Sorgatron Media. Over 75,000 titles to choose from for your iPod, iPhone, or MP3 player.
Just wait, just wait, just wait, just wait. Wait for the perfect time, then attack. Don't give up what you want, take it back. Wait for the perfect time, then attack.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Wrestling Mayhem Show 255. We are back once again. Back once again. And we got the whole line of people. We're going to introduce people first this time, because it crashed when we did it the other way. Straight out of the Bronx, New York, Mad Mike, and maybe his super is there. I don't know. Somebody was knocking on his door.
No one was knocking on my door, but I have joined the new Nexus.
Okay.
This is a life choice that I have decided to make, and for only one word, faith.
That's not even a new T-shirt.
Fuck you!
Yeah, you're so behind the times there.
I can wear whatever damn... CM Punk said I can wear whatever damn Nexus shirt I want to wear.
And coming out of snowy Corpus Christi, Texas.
Corpus Christi?
It
sounds like a...
Is the WrestleFan.
Corpus Christi.
That sounds like a
Never heard that
delicious
before.
The
place.
lover of cookie girls everywhere, WrestleFan. How you doing tonight?
Jeez. I'm doing great tonight. It is Tuesday, which means it's time for some wrestling and it's time for some mayhem. It's the Wrestling Mayhem Show.
That's a great plug.
It is.
Thank you.
I started strong and then I was just like,
there you go. And straight out of the deeper reaches of your mind is DJ Lunchbox. How you doing?
What's up, hot dog? This is Scott Ackerman. Welcome to the newest edition of Comedy Death Ray. We've got some really great guests. Oh, shit, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of a different podcast. What's up, guys? This is John C. Riley. Welcome to Funny or Die. We have John Hamm this week. No, that's not right either. Hold on. I'll get it. No, hold on. Welcome to Never Not Know.
Quackenbush.
What the fuck with Mark Maron? That's right. I'm not Mark Maron. What show is this?
Wrestling.
What about wrestling?
Wrestling. Welcome to Wrestling Observer Lot. No, that's not right either. Mayhem. Wrestling Mayhem Show. Yeah, I must be DJ Lunchbox, and this is the Wrestling Mayhem Show. The best podcast. I wouldn't want to be on any other.
Right, okay. And less confused by their actions.
That's the longest intro you've ever had.
No, Chachi is here.
What up?
Doing things.
I'm playing Oregon Trail.
Moving on. AJ's back again.
Don't get dysentery.
Oh, no.
Ford the river, Chachi!
An eagle snatched one of my kids. Yeah, that's... I was...
Oh, I hate when that happens.
I got kind of pissed off because I wasn't paying attention.
He's hammering nails right now. We'll be checking back in with Chachi on the trail. And AJ's back again.
Hi, I farted.
All right, good enough. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. This is the WrestlingMayhemShow.com. If you want to find out more about us, at Mayhem Show, of course. And you can contact us, because I know you want to talk to this crew. Good times.
Good times.
At WrestlingMayhemShow.com or 412-206-WMS09670. And you got a quick link to all that stuff if you bought the WMS Gold app on your iPhone.
Or Android.
Or what?
Or Android.
We are on Android.
Or iPad.
Or iPad, of course. There it is right there. You get all the access to our shows up there. Bonus material, which has been side-splittingly funny the last couple of weeks, by the way. Project WrestleFan. Learn about it.
Mm-hmm.
Tell your mama.
Yeah, tell your mom. Because he's coming.
Tell your cookie girls.
And your local cookie girls.
I'm going to text my mother right now. Hey, Mom, we're trying to get our 14-year-old friend from Texas laid.
Can you help?
Wow. Can you help?
Yeah. Buddy.
Oh my god, your mom should totally offer some sex advice, just medically.
You know what's hilarious? Is his mom will bust up laughing. That's the bad part.
I wish we had a webcam on her right now.
I know.
That's why I'm not lying and actually sending it.
Yeah, she's gonna. That's why I'm not lying. She's busting up laughing.
Mom.
We can do this. We can do this. She's been on the show before when the Brock Lesnar thing was going down.
Her laptop does have Skype and a webcam, so but no.
I don't know.
No, I know what happens to mothers who are mentioned on the wrestling. Podcast.
Yeah, because you don't want to exploit your mother.
What?
You heard.
Continue.
Moving on. Well, let's get right into the fan mail. I know there's a couple in there, so let's a lot of feedback from the Royal Rumble this past week, and we'll be getting into a lot of that here later on the show.
Yeah, Santino won the Rumble.
Santino did not win the Rumble. Anyways, first email from the Riz is what I got up here. He says, WMS!
That's us.
I can sit here
and say... Is there an exclamation point? And it's okay.
Yeah, there is. And there's a space and
there's a five
return.
There's a 5 break. Like,
yes.
It says insert
I'm counting in
pause.
my head. I can sit here and say I told you so when I picked Mr. Del Rio for the Royal Rumble, because I believe I wasn't the only one to pick Alberto Del Rio to win the Rumble. No, I won't talk about that. However, I will talk about the day that I got humbled by the WWE Hall of Famer. Today I tweeted a great play-by-play great play-by-play man, Mr. Jim Ross, a question. That question was, have you had a taste test between JR's barbecue sauce and a certain Super Bowl QB's barbecue sauce, and then received a response back rather quickly? Big Ben's barbecue sauce is a gimmick, while ours is based on my mom's recipe. Big difference at jrsbarbecue.com. Go Steelers. From Mr. Jim Ross.
Hot damn.
Jim Ross likes the black and yellow.
There you go.
Black and
so
yeah, he was at the
likes the black.
He was at the AFC Championship game, and he's going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent.
He's
Excellent.
a fan.
So now I'm a dick for comparing the two. So Mr. Ross, I apologize to you and Mrs. Ross for insulting the goodness that is your barbecue has given to the millions of people it served. Until next time, Boomer Sooner, Riz.
Boomer Sooner.
So there you go.
I got one.
You got one?
Yeah, I got Chachi's phone.
You got Chachi's phone?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Go ahead and read
real
one,
quick,
sir.
Before we get into the next one,
Yes.
I'd just like to throw in on the topic of predictions that a certain DJ Lunchbox, a certain Scott Ackerman, made the prediction that we would see Booker T back in the WWE this year, and lo and behold, it's the Boogerman, y'all.
Can you dig that, sucker?
And while we're also on the topic of predictions, I had a little Royal Rumble shindig at my place with the once Prince Mac. No, I have not gotten slapped yet.
You
I've
should.
not gotten slapped yet.
You
because
should,
Chris
and you
Jericho
should
did
film
not
it,
show up.
because if you don't film it, it didn't happen.
It will get filmed and it will be put on the site. But I predicted that the first 2 people in this year's Royal Rumble would be Daniel Bryan and CM Punk. That is a legit fact, and you can ask Magus about it, because I had a little game for every entrant. The person who got the most entrants in order right won a prize, and I predicted Daniel Bryan and CM Punk would start off the Rumble.
And it was weren't we talking?
So
Was that on the show, or was that at Fox and Hound, where we're talking about the day when Punk and Daniels will finally get in the ring together?
It was on the show. On the last show, I mentioned that someday it's going to happen that Daniel Bryan and CM Punk are going to get into the ring and they're going to have a great match. Mm-hmm. And then they started off the Rumble, and we both looked at each other when internet smarks are jizzing their pants right now.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, yeah, the ROH board went down, because then William Regal came out, too.
Yeah. Yeah.
The ROH board just exploded.
And just got the shit kicked out of them.
Yeah.
Like
I predicted John Morrison would win the Rumble, and he got eliminated by the Nexus.
I want to point out that AJ, picked Alberto Del Rio last week. I did that. But
I think a lot of us picked Alberto Del Rio.
But you.
I think
you already knew that.
What?
Whoa.
Uh-oh. That's a message from my mom.
I thought someone just paused Mario Brothers 1.
That's the sound effect. My mom says, no one that it wouldn't be really creepy with. Sorry. Sorry, Wrestle fan.
Yeah, it's totally not creepy at all.
Wow.
Oh.
All right, where were we? There's more to that email, right?
No,
Wait,
no, that one's done.
Are we done?
Yeah.
Next is Pierre Calais.
I have Pierre Calais.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
All right, I got this one.
Yeah, Calais.
To the WMS Nation, I could not believe my eyes at what was going on in the Royal Rumble this year. Alberto Del Rio, the man who crushes almost everybody on SmackDown, has won the Royal Rumble, becoming one of 2 Mexicans to win the event, along with Rey Mysterio Jr. I was thinking Triple H would win this thing, but it turns out Booker T surprised us all.
I was thinking Triple H was Mexican.
He dismantled the Nexus before a surprise attack put him on the elimination line. Really? No Triple H in the Rumble? Even Diesel, the guy who almost bankrupted the E in the 90s, went in? This is serious! 3 exclamation points. What in the name of Magnum TA thought up of this? 2 former TNA wrestlers in the Rumble, and we still don't have Sting on hand? Where is Chris Jericho? Where is Evan Bourne? Where is Christian? On tour with a rock band, hurt. How did this all unfold into
Jericho
event
said he
gone
was
bad?
washing his hair.
Yeah, it probably was.
Yeah,
I believe
Jericho
the
said he
one...
was-
what was that, Mike?
Jericho said he was washing his hair.
Oh.
Wow, deja vu.
I believe the one thing the Royal Rumble should have had is the remaining NXT graduates, or Percy Showtime Watson, or maybe Darren Young. Next year, the Rumble should do better. But in the meantime, I'm hoping Triple H could return at Elimination Chamber in February, and if not, WrestleMania 27. See you guys later. Pierre K, a.k.a. Mr. Techwood Drive.
Yeah, that's kind of a good point. Even though the Royal Rumble was awesome, there were a lot of people that weren't in it.
That is ridiculous.
I'm just putting this out there.
I wasn't in it.
Triple H was.
I mean, Primo.
Triple H wasn't going in unless he was going to win it.
Yeah.
Can we be honest here?
No.
You know, if you're.
Well, I thought he was going to go in to eliminate Sheamus.
But
No, he'll get his. He's going to have another match at WrestleMania with Sheamus.
this Royal Rumble was exactly what this Royal Rumble needed to be.
Mm-hmm.
It was exactly what every Royal Rumble is.
A giant free-for-all with like 2 or 3 surprise people.
Exactly.
There's a bunch of people.
It was a great Royal Rumble.
I liked it a lot. I watched the whole thing. I had a great time watching the entire thing.
Yeah, Sorg and I watched it at Fox and Hound, and the entire room was going nuts the entire match.
Because, I mean, every year you have the same thing in Royal Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
All right? You have the 1 or 2 big guys that are impossible to eliminate who get eliminated
every year.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because this year the big guys were always eliminated by one person.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's
As
true.
opposed
Big
to when
Zeke
they
took
all
care of the Big Show like that.
Quadruple team them.
So, all right, so there was that. You have the team or group of guys that are going to team up and run the Rumble.
Which I think we had to a greater effect than usual this year.
And it was done perfectly.
Fantastic. That was a great demonstration of how powerful the Nexus is supposed to be.
It was amazing.
When they eliminated like 3 or 4 guys and Punk just yells, "We're going to WrestleMania!"
Yeah.
When he was climbing up on the ring,
John Cena comes out.
When he climbed up on the corner and was yelling, "This is my Rumble," that was kind of awesome too.
I mean, and then you had the comedy moments, which if you did not spend the entire time Hornswoggle was in the ring laughing, then you are
funny.
Then you have no
it was
sense
funny
of
though.
humor.
I think it lasted a bit too long.
No way, it was perfect.
I was laughing, but I felt a little bad for Tyson Kidd.
Oh god,
Tyson Kidd getting the attitude adjustment from a midget might be the funniest thing I've seen in wrestling in the last 10 years. Because I didn't realize Hornswoggle was that
Tyson
strong.
Kidd has a bodyguard.
No, he's gone.
Because he doesn't.
He got body slammed once by Mark Henry, and all of a sudden he's gone forever.
See, I don't even remember that.
Yeah, he got the world's
Jackson
strongest
Andrews
slam.
got bitch slapped by Mark Henry.
Yeah.
It was hilarious.
Sounds like a made-up name.
But, I mean, and then you had the unexpected, completely expected finish.
Which, even though I was pissed about just because I was pissed about one of them just because of the thoughts I have on that person, but it was still good.
Has Del Rio had a real title shot?
The fans were really into it.
Well, it depends how you look at it, because he was in a 4-way match
Has he had
TLC.
a single one-on-one title match?
No.
Then my prediction from the final episode of last year is true.
He was in a 4-way match with Mysterio, Kane, and Edge, I think.
Doesn't count.
At TLC.
Right.
No, but this was like 2 matches they had thrown together, to be honest.
Yeah, because they were going to have Mysterio and Alberto on their own.
Yeah.
That's like saying Brian Kendrick held the world title for a while.
Technically did.
That was just in that
because he held it for like a minute.
Yeah.
Hey, you know who else did that in that match?
So
The
I
Miz.
was right.
The Miz.
Right.
Wow. Yeah, that was a weird match when they had that kind of round robin title thing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
It was like when they had the hardcore. What was it called?
The 24/7.
They had it like a WrestleMania, where like if you
2000.
pin yeah.
It's a
forgot what it was called. But
it's a scramble, I think they call it.
Yeah.
No, it was the championship scramble match was the one with Brian Kendrick and the Miz.
But even like the hardcore thing was the thing where they had like
the
20 minutes.
battle royal.
Whoever had it at the end was it a battle? They called it a battle royal.
Did they?
No,
I don't think
it was a hardcore battle royal, and everyone who did win in that match was a hardcore champion.
Well, that was a different situation.
Yeah, that's
though.
true. That's true. Well, that belt they
Because
had different circumstances.
little known fact, the only people to ever have their first win be a championship win at a WrestleMania is the Mean Street Posse.
Oh, is that another text from your mom?
No, that's just a boring old email.
Oh, that's a shame. Anyways, moving on. I don't think that's about it, right, guys?
I think so.
Yes.
All right. Let's get into the other stuff. The internet with the WrestleFan. What's going on, man?
The other stuff, yes.
The other one.
This week in indie wrestling, I like to start it off with big congratulatoriness. I made up that word, I know. To Chikara Pro Wrestling. This past week, they celebrated their 250th podcast a go-go. They've been going at it for 5 years. Oddly enough, they've been going at it for as long as the Wrestling Mayhem show.
Mm-hmm.
I believe they also started back in 2006.
Probably just about as long, but, we skipped a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Somewhere in there.
We have lives.
Yeah,
but,
oh, that's a lie.
Yeah. But no, it was a great episode. Recapping some of the best moments, Podcast to Go-Go history. Also with the announcement that their co-host for the longest time, Wiggly, is leaving the Go-Go to pursue his music career. So we wish him the best, and we hope for more episodes to come soon of the Podcast to Go-Go. And so if you want to check it out, go to ChikaraProWrestling.com or ChikaraPro.com, and also YouTube.com/ChikaraOffice to check that out. Also, big news coming from Dragon Gate USA this week. They had a big weekend of events to crown their first ever Open the United Gate champions, which is their tag title belts that they've instituted. The winners being Masato Yoshino and Pac from the World 1 faction. I believe at the finals of the event, they beat Johnny Gargano and Chuck Taylor to win the titles in a sort of a round-robin style tournament. So congratulations to them. Also, during that weekend, they had 2 pay-per-view events that I believe they are currently on replays on local pay-per-view providers if you want to check that out. For more info, you can go to www.dgusa.tv or look at that to pick up some of their DVDs and just give them, the love they deserve. And also, moving to more local stuff, and I think Sorg can kind of go into this a bit more. IWC had their first show of 2011 this weekend. I was told it was a great event. I believe Super Hentai winning the IWC Super Indie title by defeating Shima Zion. What I was told was a great match, and told to be a great event all around.
Yes, it was. I was there, ringside, so I got to see most of it until I broke another piece of camera equipment. Fun fact, what's his name? Mercer from TNA.
Yeah, Tommy Mercer.
Tommy Mercer won the IWC belt for momentarily until apparently.
Really?
Well, apparently he used a Green Bay Packers jersey and threw it at John McChesney. Hence, since they're going by the book, disqualified him.
Wow.
Yeah, dusty finish. Other than that, yeah, great show.
I think you can call that a Tomlin finish.
The Tomlin finish. Great show. Flippin' Mayhem against Gambino Brothers was really good from what I saw of it. Super Hentai and Shima Zion was really good. The Hentai's mask almost came off, bleeding, pretty good. But it was a fun show. It was what you expect from a IWC show down there at Court Time. So I recommend go check out the DVD. It should be up later this week.
Speaking of IWC and DVDs, I got to watch College Fight Fest. And I heard Jimmy DeMarco on commentary. I know he is retired. They need to bring him back for commentary. I believe he made reference at one point to the Sorgasm.
Yes, I think that is the episode, or that is the DVD where the Sorgasm debuted for IWC. So now that I have been solidified in Pittsburgh wrestling legend,
and they call you a non-wrestling personality.
I'm not qualified for the year-end awards. I'm sorry. I'm just a camera operator. I swear. So I don't make a peep all night unless I'm.
You took a bump. Well, you took a bump at this event, so.
No, I didn't. Nothing happened. Nothing out of the ordinary happened. Moving on. What else is happening in the Indies? Shh.
I thought you just told us like a minute ago. Play back the tape and listen.
WrestleFan, what's next?
Well, that's all I have for the Indie Minute this week.
I have important news. WrestleFan, I'm very disappointed that you overlooked this. Mischief, who we've reported here earlier on the show. She's a Shimmer wrestler. She was on a PBS series because she's also a biochemist or something like that.
Biochemist, I believe.
Yes. And of course, she's been Shimmer champion and everything. Former Shimmer, this is again according to Diva Dirt, former Shimmer champion Mischief could be facing Screech from Saved by the Bell in a wrestling match.
Yes.
I think she made some. She posted a promo, and I think she made some comment about something. I forgot what it was, but it was very vulgar and stuff. Something I shouldn't repeat on the.
Yes, you should.
Yes, you should.
Yes, you should.
Be a man.
If I could remember it.
Be a man, Hogan. Come on.
Be a man, Hogan. Be a man. Oh, sorry. I know we don't impersonate people, but I give it a shot.
It's all right.
Give it a shot.
WrestleFan. Okay, Macho Man, Homestar, go.
WrestleFan. Wait, what?
Macho Man, Homestar, go.
WrestleFan. Ooh yeah, I dig it.
That was excellent.
That sounded painful, man.
It did.
Thank you.
In other news, did anybody else catch that World Heavyweight Champion Edge was at Ring of Honor? At
I didn't see this.
Reunion 5 in Los Angeles on Friday.
I hired a guy to carry me across the room.
Oh, that I would assume because they did it was Ring of Honor did Ring of Honor and also PWG were involved in a Wrestle Reunion,
yes,
which is an event they do every year in Los Angeles, where you can meet all your favorite legends from the past. And get to see a lot of great stuff. I heard it was great cards on both ends because they do an ROH and a PWG show. Apparently, I guess Edge appeared at the one of the events.
Jake the Snake Roberts has retirement match.
Breaking news.
What's up? What's up? Breaking news.
Breaking news. The new role has been decided for Mr. Booker T. He will be the new announcer for SmackDown.
Whoa! Whoa!
Yes.
No!
Oh,
No!
I can get that sucker.
Okay, no, wait. Is he going to be the play-by-play guy, or is he just going to be like?
It's going to be color. It's going to be as.
It's
going to be as awesome as Macho Man doing
Sorg,
color
that's
commentary.
racist.
Oh, he's right. It is.
But what was I going to say? Oh, it's going to be. I assume it to be like back in WCW when Stevie Ray was on commentary.
Oh God!
That was like the highlight of WCW in 2000. Was listening to Stevie Ray do commentary.
No, WrestleFan, you're wrong as always. The highlight of WCW in 2000 was Daphne.
Yeah.
That too. That also.
I still want Tony Schiavone's cheese sauce for chips. He has one.
Gotta look this up now.
Yeah, Tony Schiavone has his own cheese sauce.
Well, and I believe that is the Indie Minute.
That is the Indie Minute.
All right, guys. We got some great stuff coming up on WMS Gold. If you're getting that iPhone app, let's take a look at what you can expect this week. We'll be right back.
Yeah, they're all Assassin's Creed style.
That's no lamp. That's a space station.
Pocket.
Next time something like that happens, you stand up and say, "None of you are worthy of my cock."
If
Beef curtains.
Wow.
That's what I paid for.
I'll pay for them chairs.
Go at all.
Have you ever woken up to your hand watching NASCAR? That is creepy. That's weird.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Wrestling Mayhem Show 255, and we're doing a real quick check-in on Chachi, who is still playing Oregon Trail. What's going on?
I just hired an Indian to carry me across the river.
That's even more racist.
No, seriously, it's ripped too.
No,
Dude is...
it's only racist if he says he hired an Indian to bring him across the river.
Okay.
Look,
okay.
no, there's an Indian.
Is it a Cleveland Indian?
No, it's a, I don't know where I am right now.
Kansas City Chief.
Look, he's right there. He's ripped.
No. Cleveland
Oh, I'm on the wrong side.
Cleveland
But
Indian
he's
could
ripped.
call the shit.
And he has my wagon.
No.
Back to you, Mike.
I bet he does have your wagon.
Thanks, Chachi.
Ah!
All right, where were we?
We were just talking about the Indie Wrestling Minute. I have something to add from Bobby F. J-Town. Man-Child is half of the AON Tag Champions.
No way.
Ooh. And his mask, when he, has that crazy, creepy smile on it. I don't know if you still have that up there. You probably don't because it's been a week. So, but he has this giant smile on his mask, right? And when he gets mad, he hold on, let's see if we can get that up there. And yeah, there he is. Okay,
we need visual aids.
All right, for you guys on video, he's to the right of your screen, the Man-Child right there.
So he's got he's got this smile, right?
Video.
He when he gets mad, he rips off the smile, and it's got this really frowny mad face on it. He's got a two-piece mask. Yeah.
Wow.
Why is this guy not in Chikara?
Why is this guy not in anywhere else?
That's
phenomenal.
I'm going to look him up. I'm going to see if we can find video of this.
I'm sure it's on the internet somewhere.
Wait, Bobby F. J-Town.
Is the greatest.
Actually, he was the guest rep, and when someone wanted him to make the cover, he pulled away Laffy Taffy. What?
All right, I put in Man-Child on AON, and I got really weird results. So I'm just, I'm not going to move on from here.
Motherfucker, I'm Laffy Taffy.
Ketchup. Hi, Sorg. This is Chris Hansen. Why don't you have a seat?
I love how he's grabbing that microphone.
Why don't you go ahead and have a seat? Do you want a drink? Do you want some iced tea? Maybe some lemonade?
I'm good.
Why don't you have a seat?
Does everyone want to do some news?
We're gonna have a chat.
We're gonna have a chat.
No.
I'm told your username is Sorgasm23.
No. Okay. All right.
Sorgasm 37.
All right, now diversion. Ocho Cinco versus Lewis at Lockdown.
Oh God!
Really, we're gonna start with this.
It's the last
blow it up. Blow it up.
It's over.
Blow it up.
No. We have better news than that. That will also make you sadder.
Okay.
WWE's bringing back the Diva Search.
Okay.
Yay!
Met with a round of silent indifference.
It did. It really did.
Dude, how do you do a PG Diva search?
You don't.
NXT season 3.
What's your name? What's your name? Won it
in bikini groups.
That's true.
Remember when Christy Hemme had a hungry ass and shoved it in a pie?
Yes.
Do you remember when Ashley Mazzaro was a whore and she gave out his phone number?
Wait. Okay, so is this TNA in their retarded booking trying to book a match between Chad Ochocinco, who's now back going by Chad Johnson, by the way.
Yeah.
And head coach Marvin Lewis?
Well, apparently, of course, there's been a lot of heat between the two on Twitter, on whatever, since the season ended.
Sorg.
TNA...
I did some
no
research on this.
Okay.
There was one tweet.
Yeah.
One tweet.
Okay.
And someone in TNA just decided to write an entire article about this because they take Chad Ochocinco seriously.
Yeah, which is the wrong thing to do.
He was really trying to bribe that referee
I have
when he
2
showed
points
him
on
$1.
this.
I would like to.
Besides, it'd be really funny if Carson Palmer was the ref.
That would be. Chachi, you got something?
I've had my moment of fame with Chad Ochocinco.
Oh yeah, you did.
Yeah, it's one of my. It's
that sex video.
No.
What?
It's one of my starred tweets.
Oh, that other sex video.
I've actually gotten Chad Ochocinco to tell me to fuck off on Twitter.
Yeah.
I called him a dumbass or something.
That is not hard. Okay, I have 2 points on this. One is the fact that I care about Chad Ochocinco less now that his name is Chad Johnson.
Exactly.
Because now it's just funner to say Ochocinco. And 2, we can't be surprised by this by TNA, since 2 years ago at the same event, they had a match with Danny Bonaducci.
It's true. That is true. Yep.
That's right. And wasn't it like 4 years ago they had a tag team champion that couldn't wrestle in Pac-Man Jones?
Yes.
Yeah, Pac-Man
it was
Jones.
R-Truth.
And remember,
and Pac-Man
about
Jones.
11 years ago, David Arquette was WCW champion.
Yeah, WrestleFans.
Wasn't it just a few
Everyone
months
brings up
ago
David
that they
Arquette as
were
champion.
bringing in bitches from the Jersey Shore?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean,
David
TNA
Arquette
makes
didn't
questionable
want to be
decisions.
the
Yeah.
champion.
Well, if you haven't heard, Jeff Jarrett's interview with The Sun, I always like when they're interviewing those guys over there in England. But he takes a lot of stock in these celebrities. Because one of the big gets in early TNA history was getting, Toby Keith and some NASCAR driver? That was the big push. We had his support. It was really good that we got this person and this person in here.
It was Juan Pablo Montoya, which I'm ashamed to know.
And
Was it
Chris
really?
Rock was also there.
And how many football players and baseball players, and it doesn't come off to the same celebrity that WWE does. It's a cheap plug for ratings because all you hear are the press releases.
I mean,
and audience is like, please, hey, they're the little kid that says, hey, pay attention to me, and that's the only way they know how to do it.
And they're paying them, they're obviously paying these guys immense amounts of money, which is going to waste because they're really not drawing anything with these big celebrities, while they're also losing money that we mentioned last week on the whole Jeff Hardy thing, and signing all these huge wrestlers for big contracts.
This song sounds really familiar.
And they wonder why they don't make a profit.
Well,
at least they were able to save some money this past week because they didn't have to shell out for the contracts of Kevin Nash and Booker T.
Very true.
I want to get to that in a second, too. But also, according to Jeff Jarrett...
So they'll pick up 45 indie guys.
According to Jeff Jarrett, they are profitable and have been for a few years. I don't know
Manchild is angry.
Manchild's angry? Okay.
Sorry, I'm watching clips from the match that was buzzing in the chat room.
Oh, they are in the chat room. I'll see if I can get these then. But yeah, I mean that was a big thing. Who thought that? Okay, we heard rumors about Kevin Nash, but Diesel,
full blown bringing back Diesel.
That was such a smart move.
Somebody about that, and I wondered aloud if they'd bring it back as Kevin Nash or Diesel. I'm happy that they went Diesel.
Yeah.
You know why I think they did Diesel? Because no one remembers the Kevin Nash theme music. It was awful.
So it
was absolutely awful. But if you come in with all you hear is that's exactly what you need to do.
I didn't even again
with his hair dyed. He did not. He aged a day.
No, he didn't. It was
he actually looked really good, even though he no-sold the 619.
Hey, he doesn't give a fuck about Rey Mysterio.
That's true.
Neither do I.
I don't think he got
tiny little bastard.
He tried
to a trailer once.
I did find it was hilarious though that he's talked all this crap about Wade Barrett in like shoot interviews and stuff like that, and Barrett was the one that eliminated him.
Oh yeah, and his talk about the Miz lately.
Oh yeah, poetic justice.
Yeah. Guess who's back?
I honestly think that
let's also not forget to mention his stare down with the Big Show. Which was awesome.
That's what I said.
Could have been just a
That's what I
nod
mentioned
to
before.
their former days together.
Because usually in the Royal Rumble they have those like sort of moments in the Rumble that sort of build towards WrestleMania that you don't see coming. I wouldn't feel bad if we saw at WrestleMania Big Show versus Diesel.
We're going to see Big Show versus Diesel. We're going to see Booker versus Sheamus. We're going to see Taker versus Sting. It's going to be awesome.
If all three of those matches happen, I will not watch half of WrestleMania. I don't give a fly because number one, fuck Sting.
No, but you being in the back of your head and you being a guy that's watched wrestling for however long. Big Show versus Diesel is a dream match.
No, it's a dream match for people who don't give a fuck about wrestling. It's a dream match for people who want to see.
That is a big slice of nostalgic semen all over your face. For
the WCW diehards
versus
for the WCW
dream match. If they
Taker versus Sting is between a guy who can't wrestle anymore and a guy who can't wrestle anymore. Fuck, I cannot watch an Undertaker match anymore. I really can't. He's worse than Cena.
Whoa!
I'll drop that bomb right now. I'll put Taker on that.
Okay.
What about Taker versus Shawn last year, sir?
Taker versus Shawn was good because Shawn Michaels can drag a good match out of anybody.
No.
Yes, he can.
No.
You know what, sir? I will high five you on that.
I could give a fuck about the Undertaker. Honest to God, every time I see an Undertaker, when they said we're gonna have Undertaker versus Kane in a buried alive match, I went, "There's 20 minutes of my life I'm gonna want back very quickly."
Oh, come on.
No, because I cannot stand the Undertaker anymore. He should have hung him up a year ago.
The Undertaker and Kane thing was the best thing that they built. Well, not including the Nexus stuff.
Horrible matches.
It was a great build to terrible.
They were okay matches.
They were great builds to terrible matches, and that's the problem.
I don't.
It's a lot of hype. It's a lot of hype for shitty wrestling, and I'm sorry. You cannot sell me on a Sting Taker. Sell me on Sting Taker in I don't know, 2002. Yeah. Sell me on Sting Taker in 2004.
The ship
sell
is
me
sailed.
On this on 2011. It's a little late.
That's always been the problem. Like Ric Flair came 4 years after the WCW fall. Nobody cared as much anymore. No, the WCW alliance thing fell because we didn't get WCW. We got the leftovers. There were usually people they picked up from ECW anyway.
Yeah,
which were slowly filled with guys from WWF.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, and that's the problem here is that these dream matches. There were dream matches 5 years ago, not now. Taker and Sting, to me, is not a dream match. It's not. Sting can't wrestle anymore. Taker can barely move. Seriously, we had Taker in a buried alive match, maybe... How long ago was that?
4 months ago?
4 months ago? They put him in a buried alive match or all these matches where he gets to go away for a long-ass time. You know why? Because he can't do it anymore. I'm just being real honest here.
There are those times where he does go away for a long time, but then they build it up to being a big match where he does come back, like at WrestleMania.
He comes back and he gets to wrestle one decent match a year. That's it. Seriously,
I'm fine with that.
I want you to name me the 5 matches that Taker was in 2010. Don't worry, I'll wait. There was Taker and Shawn. There was the buried alive match, and that was it.
Hell in a Cell.
Taker was also in the Elimination Chamber.
Okay, that's 4.
Taker was the world champion. Taker was the world champion at the start of 2010. He had a match with Ray. He had the Elimination Chamber.
He wrestled Mysterio at the Rumble.
Yeah.
So it's 5 matches.
He wrestled Mysterio.
It's 5 matches, and I'm fine with it.
Because he can't wrestle. And you're going to try and have him build up something with Sting. It's going to be it's going to be lights out after lights out of Sting and his emo paint and Taker cutting out the lights every now and then. Just cut the screen off and let's not watch anything. Let's just play random bell sounds. And then we'll just have Sting laid out.
With both sides on this part because AJ is right. That is a bunch of matches from people who can't wrestle. I do not have any desire to see Kevin Nash wrestle.
No.
I don't want to see Sting do anything. And yes, The Undertaker is not as talented as he once was. However, I would totally fucking buy that WrestleMania to see those matches.
It's a WrestleMania of disappointment for me. It's WrestleMania 27, the road to disappointment. That's what it is to me. I can't get behind any of those matches. A Big Show and Diesel match would be awful. Because Big Show could still kind of wrestle. Diesel can't move. It's like watching the Great Khali, but a white guy.
Ever watched I always go back to, if you will, Big Man, Big Bill stuff. Undertaker versus Undertaker.
Oh, yeah.
Worst match I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah. Because I'm sorry, a big man and a little man is a good match. You can't do big and big. A big guy versus big guy match is a big, slow, lumbering match where both guys get really, really winded in about 5 minutes.
Right.
It's not an entertaining match to watch.
Riz in the chat room says those 3 matches will be like waiting for the ending of the Goldberg-Lesnar match.
Correct.
There you go.
God.
I
said it'd be like waiting for the start of the Goldberg-Lesnar match.
I mean, that's my problem.
The worst match I've ever seen was Lesnar and Bob Holly. That was god awful.
Oh my God, yes.
I mean, and that's...
You broke my neck. Who the fuck cares?
Yeah. If you can't get face heat off of your neck was broken by this guy, then you're a lost cause at that point.
Dude, it worked for Sabu, Chris Benoit, and Kurt Angle for years.
Seriously. No, but the thing was, Holly broke his neck when Lesnar was like first starting to get his like main event push, and then when Holly was gone, Lesnar became a face, and then he was a heel again, and then they started the whole neck breaking thing.
I mean, honestly, you're telling me that you would actually pay money to watch Booker T versus Sheamus?
Yes,
Booker
T can go.
That I might. That
really?
I might. That I gotta say that I might.
Go.
That's a hate crime.
That's a well.
Oh, come on!
I mean, honestly, something that white versus something that black. That's a hate crime. But
it'll be really great to finally truly test the white balance and contrast on my television upstairs.
I mean, honestly, that's not a mid card. That's not a mid card match at Elimination Chamber or Backlash, let alone a mid card match at WrestleMania.
I good enough for Backlash.
Mid card match for Backlash.
Oh shit! Watch some old WrestleManias.
And watch Booker T before he went Jamaican, but English, but Jamaican.
Whoopi Goldberg.
Yeah, Whoopi Goldberg.
Whoopi Goldberg.
I mean, honestly, I can't get behind these 3 guys from TNA who are clearly past their prime. I mean, way past their primes. Mm-hmm. Booker T looks great for a 45-year-old guy.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, let's be honest. Booker T is in the best shape of the 3 of them.
You can tell he's in his twilight. He's got a book deal coming up.
Booker has
got a book deal.
Please tell me that his book is called Booker T. The book.
It's called. It's called From Prison to Promise.
Okay. The life story of Booker T.
It should be called From Bookend to Bookend.
That would be great too.
Press release teases the book. Will detail Booker's struggles with family and crime in urban Houston before becoming one of the world's most recognizing successful athletes.
Mm-hmm.
Tentatively
slated for September 2012. What's going to take him so long?
He's got to write it first.
Yeah.
Speaking of books that are already written, if you go on the iTunes bookstore, the iBook store, if you on your iPhone or iPad or whatever device you have, you can download the first 3 chapters of Jericho's new book, Undisputed.
Downloading right now.
Which I've already read, and they are already fantastic, and I wanted to read the entire book while sitting on my couch the other night. I don't think I have
iBooks installed.
I'm downloading this right now.
It is great. He starts it out when he starts it out when he's going to WWE.
Yeah.
And he talks
because that's where the last one ended.
Yeah, and he talks about his first couple matches in WWE, and he talks about how the matches are actually put together. Is actually in the sample. He talks about how the matches in WCW where you went into the war room and Kevin Kelly told you who was going to win, how long you had, and what they'd like the finish to be. So, we want a clean finish. We want this to be, we want a DQ finish or whatever. We want to count out something like that.
Yeah, actually, most of them were NWO were running on you
or NWO is going to run in and beat you up and spray paint you.
Yeah.
But, I mean, there's that he said that's how WCW worked. When you were in WWE and you were new, they put your match on a piece of paper in the back, and they put initials next to it, and that was the agent for the match who helped you put the match together to have a cohesive match between you and the other person. And he said the smartest person in the WWE, hands down, is Pat Patterson. Mm-hmm. He said there's nobody who knows.
Yeah. So the initials on the paper were PP.
Yes. But he said Blackjack Renza did a lot of his early matches.
Chachi is a 5-year-old.
And Pat Patterson actually did most of the Rock's matches. Mm-hmm. So he said Pat Patterson knew how to work a good match out of anyone. Pat Patterson
was the one that came up with the concept for a Royal Rumble.
Yes.
Yes.
And Chris Jericho is actually the person who came up with the Money in the Bank concept.
Oh.
That's actual fact.
Nice.
So Jericho is the one who came up with that match.
Like in backstage, because I remember, was it just backstage, or was it like also him like on TV? Because I remember he came up with it on TV.
It was Carlito, wasn't it?
No, it was Jericho.
No, Carlito wanted to come Jericho. Back. Yeah, Carlito was the next year that he was like, let's bring back the Money in the Bank, and then he didn't even qualify.
Yeah, but I mean, they did. Jericho's book is the first first little bit that you get from the iBookstore is completely worth it. It's going to be $15 when it comes out. So go buy Chris Jericho's book and actually go buy Lion's Tale and read that one first.
Yeah, I need to.
That book is phenomenal. I blew through.
Like I think I mentioned this the other night. My only big complaint is they're not audiobooks. How are wrestling books not audiobooked?
Chris Jericho reading that book would have been amazing.
That would have been great. Now, you know what isn't? We talked about this before. So we have Audible as a sponsor or affiliate. And
thanks,
everything.
Audible.
Yay! But Stone Cold Truth is on there, which is an abridged version. I actually bought it with my credit, then realized I actually read it before. Hogan's on there. Hogan reading it, and then Stone Cold reading it.
Lita's on there.
They're so rough. Is Lita on there?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Lita's book's on there.
One of Foley's books is on there, like one of the other...
Tatum
Brown, yeah. And I think it's read by him. Other than that, that's it.
Mick Foley wrote the foreword for Jericho's book. And also he got a bonus foreword by Zack Ryder, which actually made the book.
Tell the story.
Actually, hold on. Let me read it, because he actually explains it at the beginning of the foreword here. Hold on. So he gets... Woo, woo, woo. You know it. So he writes this, the foreword. He said, I was talking about the new book while on a WWE tour Puerto Rico in September 2010 when Zack Ryder inquired why I had not asked him to write the foreword. When I replied that A, I had already received a great one from Mick Foley, and B, Zack hadn't offered, he vowed that he would write one anyways and post it on Twitter for all the world to see. Funny thing is, when he did, I really liked it, so I decided to include it in this book, unbeknownst to him. WWWYKICJ. As in, woo, 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 you know it. CJ.
Nice.
Jericho...
this just confirms why Jericho is the coolest fucking guy in wrestling.
He comes out and he talks about how he did his original promo. And he talks about the original promo and how The Rock buried him to the point that they didn't have their match that they were supposed to be building to for 3 months. Like that was supposed to set off an angle with Jericho and The Rock. And it didn't happen for 3 months because Jericho came out and basically got buried by The Rock verbally.
He pretty much did.
And that's... He talks about how he had to build himself back up and all this stuff. It's just the sample alone makes me want to buy 3 copies of it. I'm not kidding. Jericho's book is incredible. The first one is even better. Actually buy it and read it. Sit down and read it because there's pictures in there of him in Germany and stuff like that.
Ooh, I like pictures.
I know you do, WrestleFan, because you can barely read.
I like pictures in my books.
Actually, go buy it. I read all 350 some pages in a single night.
Tremendous.
I just sat down and blew through that book. So, anyways, there you go.
There you go. AJ's book review.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
So if we want to spur off, we talked about the Royal Rumble a bit earlier and how amazing it was.
Yes.
Let's talk about the Royal Rumble on Raw and how horrible it was.
How horrible!
Fell asleep
fuck
before
that
it started.
noise! I thought the Royal Rumble on Raw was great.
It was good.
It was that bad.
But I have to watch that back because there were so many botched spots in that match.
Yeah,
it's a Rumble. You know,
I mean,
like Morrison and Truth trying to skin the cat, and Truth couldn't skin it.
Truth, who has more muscles than anybody, couldn't skin the cat. Tried.
And there was one point where like
Morrison
Lawler
catching himself on the
Lawler and Cena faced off, and they didn't know what to do, so Lawler just drop kicked him.
Yeah, right in the corner of the ring.
WrestleFan, that's because they were doing the, oh my god, I'm a face, you're a face, I respect you, Cena, I respect you.
Well, because I kind of thought that, but then it kind of looked like they were just planning it out, and they didn't know what to do.
WrestleFan, if you look at the end of that match, when Lawler accidentally eliminated Cena, he even apologized.
Well, true, yeah,
because
but I mean, looking
Cena. Come on,
looking at that just straight, I would have thought that they didn't know what to do.
I just realized
that's face booking 101, sir.
I didn't realize until I looked in the monitor. There's a video of the man-child playing in the background.
Yes.
So, there's not really a good shot of him there, though.
And can we talk about how John Morrison is amazing in the Royal Rumble match?
Oh, man!
That was one of the most insane things ever.
I was angry that he didn't win the match or the match on Raw, but he was the star of that Rumble.
Doesn't matter. He's a highlight reel of the Rumble after that.
He's the highlight reel of a lot of matches.
I mean, it's just like Jeff Hardy would have messed that up.
Oh yeah,
he's tried stuff like that before.
Well, no, he would have been high when he did it.
Yeah, you know, I mean, well, obviously. But that was...
Which is ironic considering John Morrison comes out to a giant psychedelic background.
Very true.
But yeah, he does...
It was so weird.
That was awesome.
I was worried that Morrison was actually going to win the match. And if they planned for him to win the match and he messed up that spot... Oh, man,
not even that. How many spots after that was he going to be involved in? You know, that would have been messed up.
Yeah.
Speaking of messed up spots, at the Rumble, Alex Riley went out a little early than people wanted him to.
That's what I thought, because they had Miz on commentary kind of billing Alex Riley, and I was like, where's Alex Riley?
They're like, Alex Riley is going to win this. He's going to win this. And then Miz went, where is he? I caught that.
He was
supposed
to stay in there until I'm pretty sure the end, so that it made sense for Miz to still be out there.
True, yeah.
I don't know. I think it still works.
Because when Alex Riley gets eliminated,
it's still,
why is
it still works? But I was just like,
scouting.
I will say this though: the Miz is actually a great commentator.
Yeah, he is.
He is really good.
The Miz is great on commentary. So CM Punk also great on commentary. I don't actually mind when John Cena does commentary.
Because
he actually can sit down and do a color commentary thing and not sound like a moron.
At the Rumble and at Raw last night, Michael Cole was extra obnoxious.
Oh yeah.
But I liked it because that's what he's supposed to do.
No.
Well, WrestleFan, I think there's a reason that Michael Cole is extra obnoxious, and I shudder to think this. I think at WrestleMania, we're getting Michael Cole versus Jerry Lawler in some form or fashion.
I think we are.
I would like to see that. Actually,
I hate to think that.
They've been building it so well,
though. I think that, but I think that's what we're getting.
I don't, because I mean they've been building the whole thing with him and Lawler pretty well, ever since he cost him the TLC match.
Or we could get like Jerry Lawler versus Alex Riley with Michael Cole as the referee.
No, I was thinking like do Jerry Lawler versus Alex Riley, and if Lawler wins, he gets 5 minutes with Michael Cole.
Oh, there you go.
Oh,
that's not a terrible idea.
Like that'd be good.
That's what I want to see. I want to see Michael Cole actually do that though, because that would be.
That's actually WrestleFan. Good on you. That's not a bad plot line.
I'm going to say that really loud at work one of these days and see, what happens.
You know what would really be awesome? Yeah.
You know what would really be awesome? Yeah. Michael Cole getting punched in the face twice.
I was so worried that they were going to end the whole thing on Raw when DiBiase shoved him, because when he shoved Lawler, he shoved him into Michael Cole, and I was worried they're going to be like, "Oh, you hit me. You're fired. Get out of here."
Yeah, I thought that would have probably been the dumbest thing ever, really.
Yeah.
If they did that.
Well, here's one from the chat. Riz is saying, honestly, I think Lawler's going to win versus Miz and then lose to someone else on Raw and have a career versus career match with Miz at WrestleMania.
I think, from the way it's looking, I think Miz will probably hold the title after the Chamber and probably face John Cena.
Yeah.
From the way it's looking.
It's like, I keep wrapping my head around, will they give Lawler the belt going into WrestleMania? I don't think they would.
No.
Unless
Lawler's
looking...
No.
Sorg.
No.
Sorg, the only reason that Lawler got in that match is because there are way too many people that can be viable contenders for the WWE title, and they want a good chamber match out of it, but they don't want to put Miz in there yet.
Okay.
And if you look at the 7 guys that were in that match, when they said that the 6 guys that don't win will be in an elimination chamber for the #1 contendership,
you knew they weren't putting...
Jerry Lawler was the only person who could have won that match.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wasn't going
to throw Lawler.
Though it was odd because when they made the whole GM announcement, Cole did not mention the fact that the elimination chamber match was going to be #1 contender for WrestleMania.
Yeah, I was confused
which I knew, which was what they had to have done. But it confused me because I'm like, so why are the other 6 guys fighting in the elimination chamber?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, I guess they figured, are they going to do this with the SmackDown title match then? I think
they're going to have, since Alberto Del Rio won the Royal Rumble, I think they're going to have the SmackDown match will probably be for the title, but the Raw match is #1 contenders. So it's kind of like a makeup to find the #1 contender since no one from Raw won the Rumble.
That makes sense.
You know what I could see them doing? I could see on SmackDown them hot-shotting the belt to Dolph Ziggler.
Really?
I can very much see it. Give him the belt for 3 weeks, and have a match like a rematch at Elimination Chamber, and then do an Elimination Chamber for like the IC title.
No.
I miss because
why not? Why not?
The other thing is
because the WWE doesn't respect the mid-card belts anymore.
Yeah, they would never give that to something.
But it wasn't even. I mean, Ziggler doesn't have the title anymore. Remember?
Yeah.
I mean, if you brought back
WrestleFan, I'm saying Ziggler can win the world title this week. When he has that 3-on-2 handy match with Edge.
So have him win the world title and then have him face Kofi?
No, listen. Have him win the world title and then have a rematch with Edge at the pay-per-view. And then do an elimination chamber for the IC belt.
Yeah,
the WWE won't do that if they don't have a matching match for the US title.
I think they want to switch up elimination chamber a little bit. Because they clearly
and they should
want to have
I think they should,
another
obviously,
world title elimination chamber match.
Yeah.
Unless they really feel like resetting things before WrestleMania.
Yeah, that's what I felt they did last year, is that let them do the last-minute switcheroo, kind of set things the way they would. They're like, okay, actually, we want to do it this way. So people aren't like, WrestleMania is so obvious 3 months out now, so, with all the
I had an idea like a month ago what the WrestleMania matches were going to be. All that's been shattered now.
Yeah, that's why I was like, I didn't think it was clear when you said that even what WrestleMania was going to be. I think it's really still up in the air.
And I think they
can still do Core versus Nexus.
Yeah, definitely.
Because now they have 4 guys on each team.
Definitely. Well, they have like 5 or 6 on Nexus, and then
there's
5 on Nexus, but CM Punk's probably going to wrestle Orton.
Yeah, exactly, and then that frees up the rest of them.
I still think it's going to be a fatal 4-way. I still think it's going to be a 4-way match. I don't think so. I think
they
elimination chamber.
They could do that, but I think they need to make it separate. It's like when they did the TLC thing, where it was Mysterio and Del Rio and Edge and Kane, and they just combined the 2.
Yeah, and I can definitely see like one of these turning into a 3-way, being in the WWE Championship. Maybe somebody else gets the championship at Elimination Chamber for the world title, and Edge gets thrown in there too, just as a rematch.
Bobby F. J-Town said this a very long time ago, and this just makes me shudder. Khali versus Diesel versus Kane versus Mark Henry versus Undertaker versus Batista in an Elimination Chamber. Can we just have the chamber collapse in on itself?
That would be really bad.
Can we just have the chamber collapse in on itself? For
That would be worse. That would be worse than the chamber from December to Dismember.
Ooh, I thought I had the worst chamber in memory. Remember the SummerSlam where they had like 3 matches they were building to, but it involved
who was in that? Kevin Nash,
Scott Steiner, and Goldberg, and it was just like they just combined the 3 feuds together into Elimination Chamber. So bad. Yeah. That was like the worst.
But also, another note from the Rumble, because I got into the first match like 10 minutes into it. I missed 2 things. One, why the spear was illegal, which kind of threw me off.
That was on Friday.
That was on Friday on SmackDown.
That was on Friday. Oh, then I didn't want SmackDown. That was the problem.
I mean,
and also two, why Kelly was attacking Vicky Guerrero.
Yeah, I didn't get that.
That's been building for a little bit.
That one
now.
Didn't make any sense.
That's been building for a little bit now. It's really been kind of under the radar.
Yeah, but it should have been Caitlyn.
That was Kelly. Kelly's been doing her thing with Drew McIntyre, which I hate, by the way.
No,
because
they ended up in a match together or something. So I think there's a lot of other stuff that happened on Friday. I think really was.
God, I miss SmackDown. Jeez. No, but this is the thing. The Kelly Drew McIntyre storyline has turned into a TNA storyline really quick that they aren't thinking through.
Okay.
The problem I have with it is she complains to Drew, I can't date a man that enjoys beating up on people. While she doesn't understand the fact that this is professional wrestling. Is she freaking retarded or what?
Have you looked Kelly in the eye?
Also, and her exact words were she hates
Kelly
the
has
fact,
eyes.
Yes. No, she.
They're
yeah,
blue
exactly.
and mysterious.
Her exact words were that she can't be with a person that enjoys beating up on people.
Okay.
However, later in the night, she had a tag match, her and Caitlyn against Laycool, and when Laycool made their entrance, they attacked them from behind. Why?
Look, I have 2 words that will explain every single aspect of this Kelly business, all right? Michael Knoxville.
Yeah, I'm with you. Michael Q. Knoxville.
So she doesn't want a boyfriend that like beats her. Like beats her with a huge man.
Who does,
with his
really?
huge man
Who
beard.
does?
Beats her with his huge man beard.
Deep down, Kelly just wants to get on a stage to crappy R&B music and strip naked again.
Oh,
giant man beard.
That was awkward. That was just saying. That is when ECW started. That is awkward going to that show with your father, and the first thing that occurs when the lights go up is Kelly stripping.
Kelly used to be a cookie girl.
She was a vanilla wafer.
I think.
Oh wow!
I think we learned a lot about WrestleFan and his what he sees in his cookie girls
family.
But that's
why do you think that's like a fetish for me? She works at a cookie shop.
Hey, we didn't call it a fetish. You did. Okay, that's for gold.
Your words.
That is your words. Nobody dropped the F word here. Fetish.
Oh no.
Oh. No. I got some more pleasant news for you guys.
Go ahead.
Be happy about the new DVD box set to be hosted by former WCW World Champion, says ProWrestling.net. Diamond Dallas Page tweeted today, this was like last week sometime, that he will be hosting the forthcoming Best of WCW Nitro DVD box set.
That sounds awesome. DDP doesn't.
What?
For that context, I think it does.
Stop that and reverse that.
It's not like he's stepping back.
Stop that and reverse that.
What?
If it's Diamond Dallas Page...
DDP sounds awesome. The DVD, I don't know.
You weren't around for it. Don't remember it. You're not allowed to talk about it.
They had 4 good years.
Yeah.
And they were an awesome 4 years.
They were good years.
They were awesome.
True. But there is 6 years in that company, so a third of that DVD is going to be shit.
WrestleFan. Just because the overall picture was shitty doesn't mean there weren't some great matches in there.
No.
Yeah.
Just think of it like TNA.
Yeah.
For every Vince Russo in a Pope Mobile, you had a terrific 3-count versus Young Dragons match.
Yep. I mean, honestly, the WCW's, their luchador, or the cruiserweight division, was the only reason I didn't really watch Raw.
Where else would you see?
Where else?
Time out.
Where else?
Let the man talk.
WrestleFan, you're in timeout.
Would you see? So put your nose in the corner. Where else would you see Rey Mysterio versus Dean Malenko in a 5-star technical match in front of thousands and thousands of bikers?
Yes.
In Sturgis.
Honestly,
that was my favorite pay-per-view, though.
I mean, here's Sorg and I were talking about this when we were watching the Rumble. I know how to fix TNA. Dear Vince Russo, GTFO, just please leave. Right?
Wow.
Oh, we've been saying that since
no offense.
No.
Mentioned that for 5 years.
Hold on. Follow me here.
AJ,
that's
really
the beginning.
On Mars.
No, they need to bring back the original X Division, where it was awesome, and I actually wanted to watch TNA.
Where they had like 20 guys on their roster, which meant they cared about it.
Yeah. The problem is that they signed all these big dumbasses like Kevin Nash and Booker fucking T, and they got rid of the X Division, which was the only reason people gave a fuck about TNA. Other than that, now it's just...
you know what? Where's my red flag?
Because
I want to challenge this.
Go ahead.
A certain wrestler is making his return with the goal of revitalizing the X Division.
I didn't hear this.
Who is that? Who is that?
Is this the friend of the show?
What?
No, he's not a friend of the show. I don't believe. He will be wrestling under the mask.
But, I did hear that.
His Ring of Honor contract.
He is a friend of the show.
Yes, he is.
I know
He's a fucking friend of the show.
I see what you did there, sir. I see what you did there.
Okay,
no,
so first,
I filmed his appearance.
I'm challenging AJ's statement. Not the whole statement, just the last part. You realize you just yelled at TNA for doing something that we all marked out at the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, because you specifically said Kevin Nash.
It's not the Kevin Nash thing. It's
Kevin Nash out because it was Diesel coming back, and I knew it was only for one night.
It was fun.
It's like Rob Van Dam coming back.
I think. WrestleFan makes a good point. They brought them back.
Nowadays, they're just throwing out money that they don't even have.
They brought back Diesel for all intents and purposes that we can tell for a night. Maybe he'll be around until WrestleMania for a special spot. Doubtful.
TNA
but you won't
gave
see
him
after
full
that.
contract.
Right.
Yeah. Not
I think he's going to be
full
inducted
contract.
in the Hall of Fame.
Hey, Kevin Nash, why don't you revitalize the X Division for us? Because that worked. And Booker,
there were some funny segments, but that was it.
Yeah.
To be fair, Kevin Nash put over the Motor City Machine Guns.
He did.
Yeah.
He did. That was
does anyone forget the PCS?
Congratulations. You've made it to Oregon.
Oh, good job, Chachi.
What the hell?
I'm the only person left in my party. The 3 kids were taken by eagles. The wife was killed by a bear.
Damn dirty bears!
Father
and this is why TNA sucks. I
didn't get dysentery.
TNA needs to be more like Oregon. TNA needs to be more like Oregon Trail.
But man, he has a mean case of herpes. Ladies, I think we need to wrap at that point here. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go around the horn. WrestleFan, yes.
Sorg, you have something.
What?
Dixie Carter posted a video about they being revealed on Impact.
Okay.
Oh man. TNA is in panic mode because Vince McMahon fucked them up the ass with a Royal Rumble stick.
Is that what's in the chat room now?
Yeah, it is.
That is what is in the chat room right now.
All right, let me bring it up here in a minute. Go ahead. Please elaborate a little bit.
YouTube.com.
Basically, how we all said last week that this was leading up to the Main Event Mafia, and then, half the Main Event Mafia showed up in the Royal Rumble match.
Yeah.
I want to say that I feel bad for TNA. I want to say that, but maybe it's just, me using that logic thing again that they choose to ignore. But, TNA, if you're going to tease an angle, you make sure that you have the people required for that angle signed to a fucking contract.
Mike, I can make sort of an analogy here because TNA needs analogies because they have the mindset of a 5-year-old.
Perfect.
When you sign those, when you tease that angle, you need to sign those wrestlers. When you go to that cookie shop, you need to get that cookie.
You need to heed your own advice, son. Brother.
He's trying so hard.
He is. He really is.
Get that cookie. And
I say that, and I still don't completely understand what a cookie means.
What we got here?
WrestleFan.
Are we gonna start recording for Gold here? Cause
don't get that cookie. The cookie.
Okay. Oh, this YouTube isn't loading. I'm having some problems here. Sorry.
This is what I hate about TNA. Why reveal your storylines on your YouTube page before they air? Is that?
Dude,
I guess that's what they're doing.
They're not even revealing the storyline. They're revealing like, hey, whoops, this is what was gonna happen. It's not gonna happen anymore. And, oh my God, what does happen makes me want to stab people in the face.
There's one upside to what they did. One, but it's very small.
No, there is. WrestleFan.
It's very small. We mentioned it on the show like a week ago.
WrestleFan, it's not even an upside at this point because you know they're not going to go with that.
I think they've been building it for a little while, and
no, they
this was I know this wasn't their original intention for but they've been building this for a little while. But whatever. But my point, this they should have been the original and they should have just went with it.
It shouldn't even have been the original they.
My God, just tell us. Nobody's gonna watch TNA on Thursday night.
Fine. Fortune's turning face.
Who is?
Fortune.
Fortune's turning face. Okay. Well, good.
Fortune is turning face, and the big championship match that they've been hyping up for weeks is a no finish.
There's a surprise there. There's a surprise there. You know.
No.
I mean, that's
no. I don't. But that's sort. They build this and as the big February 3rd Impact. Like this is going to be one of their big impacts.
Yeah.
They have 3 matches.
Yeah.
One that ends in a no finish.
Okay.
One that's a knockouts match, and when I say that, I don't mean that there's 2 knockouts. I mean that you have to win by knockout.
It's a knockout.
And another that's just an X Division 3-way.
Another qualifying match.
Yeah.
Which actually, you know what? Last week, TNA actually had a good match.
Yeah. These 3-way X Division matches have been tremendous. Well, okay,
they
they've had one, but still.
how long are they going to last?
Yeah.
Okay, they're supposed to have 3 3-way X Division matches. I don't even think they have 9 X Division stars.
Well, they had the tag team, so there you go.
No, they threw in Douglas Williams, even though you know he's like supposed to be going for his belt back.
On that note, because it seems like you've learned a lot, WrestleFan, what'd you learn from wrestling this week?
I learned from wrestling this week that, and I'm throwing this out there, people may think otherwise, at least from what I've seen, that is probably the best Royal Rumble that I have ever seen personally, if not the best Royal Rumble that they've ever had.
Wow, you put that out there. There you go.
It was great. It had those Royal Rumble moments that, you know, are always in the timeline, like Vince McMahon eliminating Steve Austin, or Brett and Luger being the 2 men to be the last 2 men, or, you know, Shawn Michaels only getting 1 foot knocked out. It had a bunch of those moments in this WrestleMania. Or this Royal Rumble, I should say. And the surprises were great. I was pissed at the surprises in the beginning, but I tended to like them. Because the fans love them. I was surprised that there were so many Diesel chants in that arena.
And in Fox and Hound.
And in Fox and Hound.
Yeah.
That's good. You know, whatever you think of Kevin Nash, that's good.
Yes. Awesome.
So, and the right man won the Rumble.
Yeah.
Because we mentioned on the show countless times that WWE is making their movement towards making new stars, so they don't have nobody when their old stars leave. This proved it. we all thought that Alberto Del Rio could win the Rumble, but I can vouch for, I think, most of you, that we had that thing in the back of our mind that, well, he probably won't win. Probably will go to Cena or someone like that. Mm-hmm. But WWE proved us wrong, and I'm happy for that.
Excellent. Mad Mike, what'd you learn from wrestling this week?
I learned that the Royal Rumble is probably the greatest 4-match pay-per-view I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
Yeah.
It got to the damn point.
Yeah, like, open with tremendous title match. Dolph Ziggler is a fucking star because of that match. That match was great with him and Edge. Miz vs. Orton was fantastic, and a nice little swerve ending with Nexus coming out. If for no other reason than to fuck over Randy Orton, because I fucking hate Randy Orton. The Divas match was what it was, but it was a good match.
The wrestling was good. The wrestling was good. I didn't understand the ending.
I love the finish.
That was actually a legitimately executed finish. That was a well-executed finish.
There wasn't any botch spots in that match, which the WWE Divas, I think, are honestly surpassing the knockouts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because
dude, Layla did a diamond dust last night. Mm-hmm. Layla did a diamond dust last night.
Yeah, they've been
if for some strange reason WWE fires Layla, I think she has a great future on the Indies because she was an indie wrestler in that match on Raw.
Oh yeah.
Doing the whole tucking under to try to avoid Natalya.
The Knockouts have not had a good match in TNA ever since the cage match between Victoria and Mickie James. Because that tag match they had last week was sloppy as hell.
Knockout match. It doesn't help when the Knockouts matches, like, there aren't announcements made for what kind of matches they are.
Yeah.
Like, every time I see 4 knockouts in the ring, I don't know if it's a 4-way, I don't know if it's a tag team match.
Yeah.
Because they cut so much from Impact, they never say it.
Mm-hmm. LB, what'd you learn from wrestling this week?
I learned that I don't know who this new fucking kid is that they hired, and it's a bad move because John Morrison is actually Spider-Man. That's what I learned this week.
That is entirely accurate.
Raw with the whole feet thing.
Yeah.
That is the thing that, and I'll admit this myself because you know I am 5 years old. When I would do those like fake Royal Rumbles with like me and my brother trying to throw each other out, that's what I would do. I would try to do everything I can to make sure that my feet do not touch the floor.
Mm-hmm. Where did you do this? What? I seriously, I'm waiting for him to go over the top rope and land doing a handstand.
Yeah, he just about did. I mean,
he did in the Raw one.
On the ground. Yeah.
He did because he slid like through the ropes and caught himself with his feet, and then like somehow managed to do like a sit up using the rope and the ring, and did like a full sit up and grabbed the rope. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, there's nobody in WWE or TNA more athletic than John Morrison. That crap is insane.
AJ, what'd you learn from wrestling?
I still loved how he was able to grab the barricade.
That was incredible.
That was great.
I learned this week that not John Cena, Michael Cole refuses to explain any Miz anything that the Miz does in the ring. He just refuses to do it. Like, Miz tosses Cena out during the Rumble. Michael Cole says nothing. Doesn't even mention the fact that John Cena went out of the ring. Just that John Cena's been eliminated. And it's hilarious.
You know,
and I'm stunned that they put the play-by-play guy as a heel announcer. Mm-hmm. It's usually the other way around. It's usually play-by-play guy is trying to call it down the middle, call it as a face thing, and then the color guy is the heel. And this time it's the other way around. I think it's kind of interesting. But I just want Michael Cole to get punched in the face, which I think that means they're doing their job. Right?
Yes.
I just realized something, guys. We were talking analogies before. Bobby Heenan is to Michael Cole what Ric Flair is to The Miz.
Wow.
Because
wow.
Bobby Heenan would always talk up Flair the entire time. Would never say like that. He'd always say, "That's not fair to Flair. That's not fair to Flair. The Miz is awesome." Boom.
Wow.
That's what Michael Cole's doing.
He's right. He's right. Now, I wouldn't put Cole in league with Bobby Heenan.
No, of course not.
But no, of course in context, I get what you're getting at there. From the chat room, Bobby FJ Town says he learned that Man-Child should be the show's unofficial mascot.
He also learned that Eve looked like a Power Ranger / Wonder Woman last night in the outfit that she was wearing.
Like a slutty Power Ranger.
There you go. Albie, what'd you say there?
I said, remember when it was Norman Smiley?
Yeah, it was for a while. I think that was the first unofficial mascot. We should track him down. I'm glad you pooped. I'm glad you pooped. Now that you've conquered the Oregon Trail.
I did. It was a long trip.
Oh, and Riz from the chat room learned never to cross JR's barbecue sauce.
Yes.
Yep. And Hot Wheels learned that Sting does have a price for Vince McMahon.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
I think that price is a Hall of Fame spot.
Yeah. Sting's on the WWE.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's not official. It's not official.
It's the big rumor right now.
Wow.
It's the huge rumor. I think even the New York Daily News actually put it in their paper.
Why?
Wow.
Why?
Okay.
I have no idea.
Guy who's pretending to be Crow from '97 is now trying to be in the WWE. I hate Sting.
Yeah. This
dead
right
in the camera.
The New York Daily
Fuck
News
you,
reported that Sting signed a 1-year deal.
1 year? God.
Yeah. Well, because apparently TNA has not re-signed Sting, which again goes back to my point. You shouldn't book an angle, or at least tease an angle, without having the people you need for it.
Man,
that's like us saying that Matt Hardy's going to be on the show next week, and we haven't even contacted him.
He'd show up. All we have to do is say there's going to be a free bag of Cheetos for you.
And you can make fun of Malvinas.
And Coke. And Coke. From what I've heard, he requires Coke at all of his personal appearances.
Do we have modern Matt facts?
There weren't really any new ones this week.
It's a shame.
That is a shame.
I know. I'm very disappointed.
Anyways.
Go ahead.
What up?
What Chachi?
What'd you learn from the Oregon Trail this week?
I learned in wrestling this week that if you put a little person in the Royal Rumble for longer than 15 minutes, I'm going to laugh my ass off the entire time. The entire time.
We actually do have
They were
a
the
math
Boston
fact
Celtics.
No math
We do
facts.
have a math fact.
We'll never
this week.
finish this. Anyways.
No, we need to finish
I
this.
learned.
Sorg, what did you learn?
Yes, I learned that all you have to do is be really good about doing the pogo leg, and you'll never be eliminated from the Royal Rumble.
I think Jerry Lawler tried that one year, if I'm not mistaken.
No.
Yeah.
There you go.
I still maintain Zach Gallant would have never gotten eliminated from the Rumble.
Oh man!
Wow,
unless he brought his fake leg out with him,
that's
and
true.
someone
That's
threw
actually
that
a
over
really
the
good
top rope
point
as well.
That's true.
Now, yeah, I wonder what the ruling would be if somebody had a fake leg and they like took it off in midair and landed on one foot.
Yeah.
Well, I think Kerry Von Erich got eliminated from the Rumble 1 year. So there you go.
Yeah, there you go.
But before we end the show, we also do have a Matt fact this week.
All right.
Matt almost couldn't ride the bus in Ireland earlier, as he was a threat to blow out all the tires.
Oh God, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us for this fucking mess. It's been the Wrestling Mayhem Show this week. You can of course check us out WrestlingMayhemShow.com, Twitter us at Mayhem Show, and email us good times at WrestlingMayhemShow.com or 412-206-WMS09670. Thank you for joining us this week.
I actually have something to plug.
Oh, do you?
I have something to plug as well.
I do. Well, aside from ChachiPlays.com, which everyone should go to and give him money.
We are officially over the halfway point.
Woo! Oh, yeah? What are we up to?
1364.
I'm not going to slap. That's for charity.
Thank you. I can't count.
Yes. We're up to 1364.
Due to popular demand, an old segment from Thoughtful Riot has made its return over at thoughtfulriot.com. There was a series of battles way back in the day known as the WPXI Wars, and they have returned. It's limited engagement, 1 week only, telling the story of Volume 2 of the Wars. So go and check it out, thoughtfulriot.com.
I'm excited.
I'm also with the Super Bowl coming up this weekend.
Yes.
Crisis of Infinite Mics now has a blog post up comparing the previous 8 playoff teams in the NFL to superhero teams, and you can check that out at crisisofinfinitemics.wordpress.com.
Fantastic.
Also go to youtube.com/WrestleFan2000 to keep up with your WrestleFan.
WrestleFan!
AJ, you have a blog.
I do. It's ajeats.wordpress.com. It is a blog about me eating things.
There you go.
There.
It's not ladies. Okay, so
AJ, do you eat cookies?
We haven't made any cookies yet. Wink. This week's
Dunners.
This week's or today's post was pierogi lasagna.
Ooh, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's every bit as awesome. So go check out the blog. There's pictures.
There you go. Chachi. Well, we know where Chachi is. He's on the Oregon Trail.
Fort Independence, bitch.
Please go check out thebaristas.com for episode 1. For what's going on there. It's some pretty good humor. Some good stuff. Good stuff. We were watching here before the show.
WrestleFan won't understand most of it, but it's all right.
Yeah, that's true.
I watched it, and there was a reference to hentai.
There was.
Of course, you mean super hentai.
Yes, there was. I believe that's hentai.
It's not hentai.
Fantastic. I think if you enjoy the humor here, you'll probably enjoy the humor over the Baristas.
Yeah.
So our friend Justin Kanacki, and
Justin Kaunacki.
Kaunacki.
Kaunackums.
Okay. Check me out, sorgatron.com for all my blog stuff. We're out of here. It's the Wrestling Mayhem Show. We'll see you guys next week.
Just wait. Just wait. Just wait. Just wait. Wait for the perfect time, then attack. Don't give up what you want, take it back.